Greetings, friends. It's me, Wayman, and this is part 2, got cut off before, of Judges for Dummies Human Sacrifice. So we're at Judges 11, and we left off with Yiftach coming back home to his house after he made the vow to the divine, the verbal libation, the vow that he can't take back, that whatever came first out of his house he would burn as a sacrifice. Maybe he thought a dog would run out. Who knows? But the divine and the gods give him victory, and he comes back. And behold, his daughter came out to meet him with timbrels and with dances, and she was his only child. Besides her, he had neither son nor daughter. It happened that when he saw her, he tore his clothes and said, "Alas, my daughter, you have brought me very low, and you are of one who troubles me. For I have opened my mouth to the Lord, and I cannot go back." And she said to him, "My father, you have opened your mouth to the Lord. Do to me according to which proceeded out of your mouth, because the Lord has taken vengeance for you on your enemies, even on the children of Ammon." She said to her father, "Let this thing be done for me. Let me alone for 2 months, that I may depart and go down into the mountains and bewail my virginity, I and my companions." And he said, "Go." And he sent her away 2 months, and she departed, she and her companions, and mourned her virginity on the mountains. And it happened at the end of 2 months that she returned to her father, who did with her according to his vow, which he vowed. She was a virgin. It was a custom in Israel that the daughters of Israel went yearly to celebrate the daughter of Yiftach, the Gileadite, 4 days in a year. So it's interesting because here we have a setup like Persephone being taken to the underworld, and Demeter running and looking for her and lamenting, and also the lament for Tamazu in the underworld, which is pretty interesting. Theologically, they'll say, well, he gave her to the temple. So maybe like Hannah donated Samuel to the temple, so to, Yiftach. But the text doesn't say it went that way. He did everything that he said he would do because he had to, because the divine demanded it, and if not, his life would be made terribly, terribly miserable. So, where are some other examples? Like the Iliad is interesting because it starts with human sacrifice and ends with human sacrifice. It starts with the sacrifice of Iphigenia by the leader of men, Agamemnon. He can't get the winds to blow, so Artemis demands sacrifice of his daughter. And there's 2 plays of Iphigenia, Altus, and you can read that one, Iphigenia Altus, and I gotta find the other one, and Iphigenia at Tauris, Tauris, which is a really good play. It tells how Euripides ends up cleaning that up a little bit and making it so it wasn't exactly a human sacrifice, because at the last minute she was replaced with a sheep or a goat. She's taken off to perform as a priestess in the temple of Artemis, which, interestingly enough, was to commit human sacrifice for Artemis in this temple, because she almost ends up killing her brother Orestes when he shows up. So what's interesting also, at the end of the Iliad, 12 Trojans are selected by Achilles, the raging Achilles, after the death of Patroclus at the funeral games and at the pyre of Patroclus. They're sliced up and killed, and so that ends the Iliad there too. But so that's a whole bunch of times. There's another time in the Children of Hercules, the Heracleidae, by Euripides. Read that, because Hercules' daughter, who's being pursued by Euripides, I can't even say these Greek names, Euripides, who pursued Hercules and sent him into the 12 labors, and then he also chased his children. But MACARIA, MACARIA, was one of the children who donates herself in that play to become a sacrifice after the gods demand a sacrifice to win the battle against Euripides. So it's an excellent play. I'll put the quote down in there if you get a chance to read it. Hebrew literature is pretty well cleaned up of all this interaction of deities, but you can tell it goes on in the background if you happen to read a lot of mythology from that time period, especially the David cycle and the Saul cycle. All that going on in, especially stuff all the way from Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, 1st, 2nd Samuel, 1st, 2nd Kings. Excellent stuff. A lot of stuff going on in the background, and especially ideas of people being empowered. We've been talking to Judges about the Judges, the Spirit of the Lord comes on them, or they're empowered as heroes. You see that happening when Hector's empowered by Apollo, and he has the longest day when he fights the Greeks all the way to the wall that's guarding the ships and even sets the ships on fire. And Agamemnon and the leaders, Odysseus, the wily Odysseus, are really worried that Hector may overcome them. And then finally, Patroclus is killed and Achilles joins the war. And then he's empowered by Athena. He goes out on the wall without armor. He's dressed in these robes and he glows like fire. And he fights like fire all the way to the end until he's avenged. And he doesn't eat. The gods impart ambrosia to him. It's amazing. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Take care. Remember, if everybody's thinking alike, then somebody isn't thinking.